All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And as always, we are so happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals, right? And tonight, we're only going to take a look at the technicals. I typically say the technicals and the fundamentals, but we're going to spend time on the technicals this evening. So we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here as we take a look at the technicals. That's what it's all about tonight. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots and lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage as we spend tonight's session going back to the basics as we look to wrap up the year. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear and you're ready to go, drop me a 1 in the chat and we can get this session started. All right, appreciate it, Jerry. I see you, Joy, everybody. Michael, Jeremy, thank you very much. All right, with that being said, Ryan, how are you today, sir?
My brother, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you good, man. I know you're out and about.
Yeah, I'm doing well though, man. Doing well. Interesting, fun-filled day. Glad to be here.
I know,
though.
right?
How are you?
Appreciate your commitment, brother. Appreciate your commitment, sir. We are going to get started. All right, so we're not going to look at any of the fundamentals. We are going to dive into the technicals, and we're going to take it back to the nuts and bolts as we look to close out the year. Why? Because the market is starting to slow down. Right, we're into the holiday, season. Christmas, right, is just about upon us, and things are slowing down. Companies are closing out their books, the whole nine. We did get the surprise today from Japan in regards to bonds and things like that. But I want to spend tonight going back, right, especially for our newer folks, people who are just getting going, to take it back to, hey, what do we do when we first log on and we pop on those charts? What do we need to know? We know we have it in the back office training, but we know that everybody doesn't always get to the training. So we want to spend tonight's session going over that. Hey, from the top down, how do we get it done to where it doesn't matter whether it's a Forex pair, an indice, any other asset class? How do we approach the market from a technical standpoint? So if everybody is okay with us doing that tonight, drop me a 2 in the chat and we can get going doing that. All right. Because when we're on this break, this holiday break, right, things are calming down. This is a good time. If you haven't been a person that's been doing it consistently, right, or there's some things that you're not understanding, this is a perfect time while the market is quiet for you to hop on those charts and get some good practice in. So with that being said, I will say, okay, that dollar Swiss pair that we put in today in the Telegram, right, came in officially at that TP1. It was getting close earlier, pulled back, and now it's made the wave, and we've come in at that target one. So it got close in this zone. Then it gave us a pullback, and it just hit pretty much that target one. If you take those 15-minute setups down to the 5, you can see where all it was doing, it double backed, it double bottomed at the 61.8 zone on the 5-minute chart, and we've come into this TP1 area. So if it's going to head to the 1.618D extension, based off of this pullback within this 50 to 61.8 range, where it double bottomed, we look forward to continue to 92, 94, and potentially up to that TP2 at 93.06. Any questions on that? We've been putting a lot of those 15-minute setups, clean, right, easy to read setups in the chart. We put some shorter TP levels in between, so I'm hoping everybody's been able to take advantage of those because they've been performing pretty well as of late. So okay, so that's where we are. So we are going to mark these charts up. All right, if you haven't had a chance to reset your charts, I'm actually still in the process. They did make updates. That's why everything got kind of crazy, and it's still not always all the way together with Smart Trader. Anytime they do a major update, is to make it more efficient, even though most of the time on the first iteration is not. But ultimately, is to make the system more efficient, move faster, and then they usually have a few bug fixes, like my charts, my workspaces aren't properly aligning right. I have to keep putting them in alphabetical order. But that's okay. So just want to let you know that it's definitely a good time if you haven't cleared out, completely cleared your session and started everything over for a long time. This is probably the time to do it since they've just put in that new update. Any questions on that?
No.
All right. Does everybody know how to completely like delete all their sessions and start a new chart? Like start a new, completely all new workspaces? Anybody know how to do that? Yes, they did. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I do.
everywhere. Okay.
Clear screen.
Yeah, you can clear screen or like, so for example, like I have these set up here. If I wanted to close out all of these sessions and start all over, right? You could go here, go to global settings, and you can hit delete the session. That'll completely wipe out all of your charts. And you'll be starting all over from scratch. Yep. So just wanted to let everybody know that, right? So you go to, right, your little icon, right? Go to global settings, and then you can delete the session, and that'll clear out everything. All right. So let's do this for tonight. So what do we want to start with? We want to start with the Aussies, euros, pounds, US dollar pairs. You guys tell me, where do we want to start? Somebody put something in the chat or shout it out. GBPs. All right, there we go. That was quick. All right, so we'll start out with the pound pairs, and we're going to mark this from the top down. Okay, so just to show you guys, good exercise of what we do. All right, so we'll start with this pound Aussie. Okay, as a matter of fact, I am going to let me clear this all out. Clear it out. Okay. Clear it out. All right. Okay. Some of you have been with us for a while, some haven't. So typically I'll come in and I'll put my workspace together. So this is the pound Aussie. I'll typically start out with my monthly. Okay. And you can go to the yearly if you want to, but the monthly is good because you can squeeze it down. Now, my monthly and my weekly I use interchangeably. And then I'll go down to my daily, a daily chart, a 4, a 1, and a 15, right? And then I can add my 5 in there if I want to, okay? But then I'll save it, okay? And this is what we have, all right? It's a chart, right? So let me see, who all do we have in here? We need AJ, Michael, Reese, okay. So this is a chart, right? Smart trading helps make everything a lot faster, okay? Once you get used to it, it's pretty fast. So this is my monthly chart. Another thing before we get into that, one of the things that I like to do as well is you can hit, right? You can hit your gauge, your smart gauge, okay? So you can add in different things, right? Depending on your package. So I put my smart gauge in, and then that's telling me from a monthly chart what we're looking at, okay? So 66.7% based on some major indicators is buying right now. On the monthly is long, okay? So yep, got that? Cool, cool. All right, you can go right to your daily. It's a strong buy, 83%, right? It's long right now, all right? If you don't have that, one of the things that I also do is go right over to investing.com, start your profile, it's free. And then I just go to the technical summaries. Okay. And you could customize and add in, right, your pairs. Okay. So, all right, for review, we could go in, I could clean all these out. And I can start dropping, we're doing a pound, so I could do GBP, AUD. Okay. Kind of get a bird's eye view from a technical perspective and indicators. What are we looking at? GBP, CAD, GBP, CAD, okay, GBP, CHF, okay, GBP, JPY, GBP, NZD, GBP USD, like that. Okay. So I've got my time frame set up weekly, daily, 5 hour. That's kind of like the 4, and then a 1, just to kind of get a gauge of what's going on, right? So if you don't use a smart gauge or anything like that, you can do this, and it'll tell you, like right now, pretty much across the board, we're in a buy, right? We're long overall. So these are your pounds, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So this is what we're looking at across the board. So just a different viewpoint, right? You can look at it technically and kind of figure it out, but just a different viewpoint. Has anybody ever used this? Drop me a 1 in the chat if you have. Okay.
You mean investing.com or smart gauge?
The investing.com, just this page.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you use the smart gauge at all?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just when you're doing, and I mainly just use it when I'm going through and I'm remarking up my charts. So just some things to give you, just kind of an idea, right? We know we have if you go to Tradingster, right? Okay. And you want to take a look at your COT charts and things like that. We look at the pound, sterling, right? We want to go and look at open interest from your dealers and institutional asset managers, leverage funds or whatnot. We can go and look at the leverage money, right? Almost 50-50. Look at your asset managers, whatever data points you like to use, right? But just to kind of give you an idea, okay, what am I thinking about here in regards to the pound right now? And on top of that, we know we do our fundamentals and the whole 9 for a longer term swing, right? And our directional bias, monetary policy, the whole 9. Okay, so just a few little nuggets there, some things that you can utilize. So back to the pound Aussie. Hey, this is a chart. That's it, guys. All it does, it moves up, down, and sideways. Okay, this is the monthly chart. So we want to mark our extreme high. Okay, and the way I do that, I try to be uniform. Ryan tries to be uniform in our approach. Anybody that we've ever trained and worked with, any of our partners that learned it from us, this is the same approach to the market every single time. Okay, we're going to start right from the monthly. Okay, if you wanted to take it out to the yearly, you could, right? You want to go to a yearly chart, you can go to a yearly chart and just look at it, zoom in on it. Okay, it's pretty much giving you the same thing. Okay, if that's what you're into. But we'll go to the monthly, and we just want to frame this market out. Just be comfortable with it. Okay, there's nothing scary about it. Okay, we've talked a lot about risk management all year long and things like that. Nothing scary about this market. Okay, if you know how to manage your risk, do your analysis, understand that it's a game of probability, understand that you're not going to win every single trade. Okay, so here, there's our extreme high. Here's our low. Simple. Lines on the chart. Okay. We all know about the swing highs and the swing lows now, that 5 candle combination. We should be able to do that on any platform, right? Find those swing highs and swing lows, whether it's MT4, MT5, trading view, right? Those basic fundamentals that we teach here in the inner circle. So, right? But with Smart Trader, we use the technology, right? We can use smart support, smart resistance. That's going to find us those relevant levels. So we start out here from the monthly, and this is what we have. Okay. Now, what we do is we're going to put those horizontal lines over top, right? And we're going to color code them. Why? Because with Smart Trader, the cool thing is that if price action pushes up and takes out this resistance level, it's going to disappear. But we want to keep a footprint of that level. Okay, so it's identifying the swing highs for us. Okay, so on our monthly, right, we like to use black dash dotted lines, right? Our monthly is going to be in black, all right? And I'll even take this high, even though it's a long way away. We know that support and resistance is a zone, not just a line. So we try to get it right on there, but if it's off a little bit, that's okay because it's a zone. Now these are real tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this low right here. Oops. Right there. Okay. Now, this is my monthly chart. I use it interchangeably with, right, my weekly chart. Now, depending on what package you have, right, that can determine how many charts and workspaces you get. Some people may use the monthly, the weekly, and the daily interchangeably. That's fine. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this down. Support and resistance line still on there. I'm just going to take it down to the weekly. Okay. Okay. And you kind of see already that just from, right, those classic patterns, right, those double, triple bottoms, right, you can see what happened here when this price came right back to this level and took off. Okay. But we're bullish. We can see right now from a weekly chart, right? So we're on the weekly chart. Each one of these candlesticks is 1 week's worth of price action and data. So we're on our weekly chart now. And now for my weekly support resistance levels, we're just going to mark it down, right? We're going to make it blue, just like that. Boom. That's a support level. Okay. There. And that next level there of resistance, okay, that was a monthly level. So we're going to leave that alone. But what you can see here that I like to keep track of is this right here, right? Just over the last few weeks, prices pushed through that level. That's a swing high. Here's our high point, 2 candles to the left, 2 candles to the right. That's the 5 candle combination. That level just recently got broken, right? And you can see I'm putting that there because it's trying to finish the week above it. So I'm still going to respect that level, right? Because look, past support becoming future resistance. Okay, so that's an important zone. So you just learn to just catch those. All right, so we're at this level pretty strong. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got my monthly and my weekly levels. I'm going to take smart support and smart resistance off like this, because now I have the lines that I marked up, my relevant support and resistance from a weekly and a monthly time frame. Now, the reason why I did that is because I want to right click and I'm going to link all objects to the lower time frame. So every one of these support and resistance levels that I've just marked up from the monthly and weekly time frame, I'm going to link those down to the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, 5, however many charts you have set up. So we always know where we are, right? So we could, if we're on a 1 hour, we can take a look at the chart at a glance and see where we are in regards to higher time frame support and resistance. Everybody follow me on that, drop me a 2. All right, so far easy, right? Just lines on the chart. So we've got those levels marked. Now the reason why I took my smart support and smart resistance down is because I don't want to carry that down. I'll do it when I get to the next levels. I want to take these off, right? Like that. Now I'm just going to right click, link all objects, lower time frame. Boom. Now I've got my monthly and weekly levels sitting on a daily chart. Okay. This is what we're looking like. We're just zooming in. The lower the time frame we go, the more we zoom in, the more waves that we have. Okay. So somebody tell me right now, has this been bullish or has this been bearish?
Bullish.
Bullish. Awesome. Thank you. It's been bullish and we're fighting this level right now. Okay. Struggling through this level. So now what we're going to do, right, is we've got smaller waves on the daily and we can see these swing lows, right? We can see that now. A lot of you have been with us long enough. We can see that. All right. So look, but we're going to put it in for good measure. There's daily support levels. Okay. There's a daily level that it didn't close above it, so it's putting it in there. So this is more like a zone, right? So what I'm going to do, right, okay, is that zone is tough. I want to put that in there, right? Now, when I get to my daily, after coming from my monthly and my weekly, I don't want to continue to link all objects because I already have my monthly and my weekly levels already down on my 4 hour, my 1 hour, my 15, my 5, right? I don't want to do that. Yep, Jeremy, hold on 1 second. I got you. There we go. You good, Jeremy?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Sorry about that. Okay, so now here's my daily level. So I'm not going to link all objects. Now I'm going to start taking them one at a time. So we put our daily levels in red. I'm going to link that down to the lower time frame. Okay, I've got a daily level coming in way up here. Okay, I like to take those. Put it there. Okay, like so. Boom. All right, this is where the market is right now. And then I've got support here. Okay. And then I've got support here. And I'm going to take that down to the lower time frames. Take the smart support resistance off. Right. That's my chart. That's where we are. That's clean. We see exactly, we first want to try to get an idea, right? To the best of our ability, what is price doing? Okay. It's been moving up. You guys can see that, right? You need another visual point, another visual aspect. You come down to the low, draw a trend line. Okay, like so. All right. Now we've got a trend line drawn if we want to do that. All right. I like making it real thin, keeping the chart clean, not so bulky. There's your trend line. All right. We're a bit range bound right now, but we know we're moving in the upward direction. So with this sideways chop at this level, that leads me to say, you know what? If we're bullish, we're looking at what? A breakout and a retest potentially. Okay, like so. Okay. It's all about being consistent in what we're doing. Okay. It's going to take me a while to get used to this 2-click thing. It's got me moving kind of slow. But all right, so that's where we are. That's where we are. We're bullish. Hey, are we going to get a breakout or are we going to move to the downside? Okay. Right. Because we see how now we're struggling at that level and we're moving. Oops. Kind of sideways, right? Like so. Price needs to make a decision. Right. So even if you come here to your smart gauge, we're in a buy, right? You come to pound Aussie, look, we're long, daily long, right? Weekly long, 5-hour long, 1 hour, we got to sell, which means, hey, we're retracing a little bit, right? We're retracing, okay? Now, that's where we are. Now, if I want to incorporate a fib, I'm gonna take this back off, right? Into this price action, and I want to track this impulse move to the upside, then if I want to use my fib, then I just do that. And that's where we are, okay? So it gives us some extra confluence. Like, hey, well, we could correct and move back down to the downside. The fib helps us to determine based on, right, those sweet spots. Well, if we do move down prior to, if we hold at this level and we start to move down, where can we move down to? Well, there's a couple different approaches, right? I can just say, hey, well, I'm looking for the next level, okay, of support. If this level holds, we get down to the next level of support. And you could drop down to your lower time frames to play that, right? If it breaks 179.82 and it continues to move to the downside, then we're thinking 177.03, okay? But utilizing the fibs from a swing trading perspective, longer term swings, Fibonacci sequence, our 80-20 zone, we know that long term, whether we play these support from support to support or not, we know that long term, if it gets moving to the downside of the sell-off, it has the potential to gravitate back to the 382. If everybody follows me on that, drop me a 3 in the chat. Okay. Now that's from the daily, right? That lets us know that we're extended, okay? It's struggling here. So knowing that knowing how to play the fibs, we can't be surprised that if that level holds and then we get a move back to the downside. Can't, right? We can't, because we understand how the sequence works. Now we do know, right? Things get impulsive, we move into a major risk off, scenario where the fundamentals come in, hey, that could happen, right? That could have that. I mean, this could. I'm sorry, I'm talking in the opposite. So if we come into a major risk off scenario, commodity currencies usually take the hit, right? We may get that continue to push, right? We get the fear kicking in the markets start to tighten. We may not get that correction, okay? But without any of this, okay, without any of this, okay, just as technicians, right? That's what we are, okay? Just as technicians. We know that we're sitting at a key technical level, okay? So we're looking for a reaction. Either this holds at the zone and starts to break down, or we get long, right? It could be as simple as that. If we break this level, we retest and it holds as support, then we're like, hey, we're moving potentially back up to the highs of 190.55. Okay. Fundamentally, what's going to be the driver of that? Like we said, maybe major risk off situation. Okay. Okay. Maybe something happens in Australia, right? Whatever drives it. But technically, right, this is where we are. What questions do we have? This is just the daily time frame. What questions do we have? Any? I need to know that everybody that's an Inner Circle member, thanks, Jeremy. Anybody that's an Inner Circle member, right? I know a lot of us sit back quiet, right? But I need to know, right? If there's anything that we teach you, you have to be able to do top-down analysis, mark your support and resistance, and try to get a directional bias. Entries and lot sizes and risk management is one thing, but from a technical, right? If we're technicians, we have to be able to get our charts to this point. And we have to be able to do it consistently. If not, nothing else matters. Doesn't matter if we can't do this consistently. Nothing else matters if we're not willing to put in the effort to do this consistently. Right? So let's take it to the 4 hour. Okay. We're just zooming in on the price action. You can see how it's holding at this zone pretty good. Right? This is our 4. You guys can see it with your own eyes right there, right? We got a 4 hour level, right? That's coming in between. Boom. Right? We'll mark that, right? Shorter plays on the lower time frame, right? The lower your time frame, if you're day trading, intraday trading, you want to take these levels with you down to the lower time frame, right? Swing trading, it may not be your thing, right? Longer moves. But if you're trading from zone to zone, level to level, right, you want to be aware of this, okay? And we can see how we're coming down, all right? So we'll leave that there for now. So we've taken that level down to the lower time frames, right? So just horizontal support and resistance. We come down to the 1. Okay. So it depends on how aggressive you want to be, right? If we get a break and a close, right? Do I want to take it? Here's a 1 hour level here. Okay. Do I want to take it? Do I want to wait for it to push down? Okay. And pull back to the zone and then move down. Okay. Right. So this 1 hour level here, if you're playing around like on your 15 and your 5 minute, right? We want to be aware. Okay. Got one there too, but that's in that zone. So we'll leave that alone. Okay. Back. Okay. So that's a potential scenario. Okay. There. If we're going to correct. Okay. That's simple. Break and retest trading. Top down. Okay. Gaining clarity on where we are. Gaining clarity on the price levels. Okay. And those if then scenarios. Right? If you could get to this point, right, and do it consistently, you're in the game. Okay. Then it comes down to your trade plan. Any questions on that? Nope.
Oh,
No, sir.
Okay. All right. This is something that you have to want to do, right? That you want to become great at. Okay? Because that idea, that mindset of becoming great at something is what's going to help you get through all the trials and tribulations, right? That this game brings, right? That any worthwhile endeavor brings. Right? And get consistent at doing it. The market moves up, down, and sideways. Right? Okay. Or you can sit here and say, you know what? I'm overall bullish, no play. Right? If I get a breakout and a retest of that level, if I'm bullish, that's my play. Anything else, if it comes lower, then I look for levels to where I think I might want to buy. Right? And you can use the fibs for that, or you can just use supply and demand zones for that. Whatever you want to do. But let's just be consistent this year coming up at getting to this point. All right. That's the point I'm trying to make, if any. All right. So look, hey, want to do the pounds? Let's do them. Okay. Now, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I still do it on a regular basis. Right? Tiger Woods, great as he is, still had a coach, still had a swing coach. Right? We can always get better. Right? So here, monthly chart.
hi Benny, just a quick one.
Yes, sir.
You made reference to supply and demand zones. What are those? What are those?
Just all it really is. You have different all different types of languages, and a lot of it is really surrounded. It's really based around marketing, man. Listen, it's a great question you ask. There's nothing new under the sun, right? You could look at trading books from the early 1930s. There's nothing new under the sun. People repackage it and call it something different, right? So all you're looking for, like a supply and demand zones, right? Where could we, right? Like here, pass, where could it be an area, right? Where you see like areas of consolidation, areas where past support becomes future resistance, right? So there could be, what you're looking for is, if I'm looking to sell, where can I get to a high price where I'm looking left on this chart, where you see like, you know, that cluster, or whether there was, like I say, past support coming future resistance, where price may react and you can find sellers, right? Where things can sell off. Same thing with demand, right? If I'm looking down, right, and I'm coming into this level here, and I'm like, well, last time right here, this double bottom in this zone. And so this could be an area of future what? Demand, right? And we see price came right back down, okay? Boom. And we got a reaction, right? So at this price level, this 158.98, there was a demand there. There was a demand. There were buyers that came in at that level and pushed the market up. So when you hear that different terminology, just know it's already interwoven into everything that we teach already, and that there's nothing new under the sun. Right? And people will, it's one of those things that could be, a lot of people make it subjective, and oh no, it has to be this, or order blocks and all of that stuff. Look, it's all in the same diaspora. It really is, right? You're looking for areas, right, where price may react. I like to keep things very, very simple as possible. Does that help you a little bit?
Yes, thanks.
Yep. So when you constantly hear us saying like past support becoming future resistance, right? Areas where price may react and it may reverse back to the downside. Why? Because when you look left on the chart, no matter what you call it, when you see whatever you see when you look left, is an area where price was respected, and you either had buyers or sellers come in at those levels, right? Because it's all about patterns, right? Repeatable patterns, right? And because of the liquidity in the Forex market, you get a lot of repeatable patterns, right? Especially at particular price levels. Okay, so that's another reason why we do, and we're very heavy on top-down analysis, right? Because that's how you find those zones, right? You might not find it if you're not zoomed out enough, right? On your higher time frame. So great question. Great question. All right, so that's where we're at on the pound Aussie. Go back to this pound CAD. Okay, Kim, I hear you. I hear you. Right? It's all about getting better. Me and Ryan talk about it almost on a daily basis, right? How do we get better? Right? How can we get better? Not just as traders, but as people. You know, as people, how can we continue to level up, and how can we support each other and support our group in doing that, right? That's what we think about. That's what we think about. So monthly chart, right? Hey, look, okay. Mark our levels. Okay. I want that to be in black. Now, what other we believe in being consistent with everything, the smallest detail. Try your best to be consistent. Nothing ever is 100% sometimes, but try your best to be consistent in your approach. Okay, it gives you clarity, right? It's just like when they say you get up in the morning, make your bed the same way. There's a reason why people do that, right? So it's the same thing, right? When you turn on the charts, where do I start? Okay, what am I looking at? Okay, hey, there's our high, there's our low. Okay, all these years I still do it the same way. Okay, here's our support. Okay. Here's the level from the monthly. Okay, we see that off the lows right now. We've been pushing bullish. Okay. Just for practice, I'll take this level up above here like that. Okay, support is here. That's our last major level, right? Of support is here at this low, just at a low bit. Now I'm just going to take this. I'll put the support in. It's in. So I'm going to take this down to the weekly. Okay. And you can see what we have. Okay. And you can see how we're meeting some resistance as we come into this level here. See these past, see how that bottomed out, those swing lows, all those in the zone right here, right? And you see where we're starting to kind of try to form that high, right? You just notice all those things, right? Try to have fun with it, everybody, right? Be engaged, right? Immerse yourself in it, right? That's why a lot of times we want to make sure that we cover the fundamentals and things like that, because anything like when I was playing sports, I was immersed into playing sports, like anything and everything about sports. I was in that environment, right? And then when I was in sales, right, I was in that environment, right? Everything about that environment I wanted to know. Same thing when I start getting into finance and trading, I just immersed myself in that environment. Okay, that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes. All right, so right, at least in my opinion. Now, here we are. Okay, we don't have a resistance level here yet on the weekly. Why? We don't. This is a high, but we don't have two candles to the right. We just don't. So that's it right now. So that's our monthly, and that's our weekly. Okay, but watch what happens as we move down to the time frames, and we move to the daily. how these levels come into play. Okay, so this is where we are. We're going to link these down, and then we're going to move to the daily chart. Okay. Now, this is how we do it. This is how we were taught from our mentors. This is how we've taught it to other people, right? This is what we know. Now, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. All we can do is teach you what we know, all right? So always keep that in mind, all right? And it's up to you to take that and run with it, or to build upon it, or add to it, whatever you want to do, right? So look, we can see now that we're at our daily, we do have a high here. And you see straight across here, right? Where price is starting to, price is reacting. So look, watch this. We can manually mark it. Look, we just use Smart Trader. It's giving it to us. That's a high, right? That's a high there. Now, if we come here and we put it right around that 168.44, we can look left and see what's going on at these levels, right? Past support zones becoming future resistance. Okay. So you can sit and wait, right? There are traders who will sit and wait and say, you know what? I want to get short at this level, this 168.44. And they will sit and wait for price to get to that level. And that's their play, right? It comes down to your trade plan and what you want to do. So now let's go in here and look at, on a daily time frame, what support levels we have. Boom. Why is that a support? It's a swing low. Look, 2 candles to the left, 2 candles to the right. That's higher than our center week low. Boom. Easy, right? Okay. Visually, we should be able to identify that without Smart Trader. Okay. Smart Trader, the technology, we gotta love technology. It speeds things up. Now look at that reaction. Okay. Look at the break. Look at the price action move. Right. And let me get these off here to clean this up a little bit. Okay. And look at the shift. Okay. How we've been moving sideways, and then we impulsive move to the downside, and then we broke. Okay. So if we need another visual on top of that, right, throw our trend lines in there if we want to try to get us down to the place where, okay, where that reverse, even though we could see it, right? With our own eyes, we had to move, we moved sideways, and then we broke. Okay, so look. Okay. Here's the sideways price action. Right, we come there. Look. See? And we want to try to get that through the lowest low. Cool. Right? It actually could be better than that. It's a little bit off. Right? Come here. Like this. Take our ray tool. Bang. Like that. Boom. Inner to outer trend line. Here's our long-term trend line running up top. See? Reversal, change in momentum. Okay. Look at the break, right? Look at the power that it took, right? It's daily chart to break that level at 151.67. Look at the retest on that level, right? It tried it again, okay? Broke through it. Broke this level, consolidated. Danced around that level, and we broke out. Okay. So this is where we are. Now, the fib is just helping us try to get an area like, okay, we got a reaction. Let's measure where might price come to. Well, we got to reverse off this level. Okay. Here's our 382 target. Right in line with daily resistance, right? So that gives us good confidence that, hey, this price could be pushing back down, right, to this level here, like that. So it gives us extra confidence for that level. That's all, okay? But it's still, we can link that down to the lower time frame and say, based off this daily fib, I may be looking to try to trade down to this level. Right, we got that 236 there, but that next, from a daily perspective, that next support level is right in line with that daily 382. Right, so can we get a sell-off back to that level? We're already moving. Right, it's 524 pips if that correction wants to happen. Even back to, right, this 236, it's quite a ways, right? 214 pips. So now, if I'm in an up retracement zone, if I'm in an up retracement zone and I want to trade that, I'm thinking on my lower time frame, maybe I can catch a down ABCD wave to this level 160.97. Okay, that's it. Okay, but look, if I take the fib off, take the level off, it's like maybe it move back down and retest the support at 160. Past resistance becoming future support. So now I'm on my lower time frame. If I go down to the 4, right? There's that level. That's that. We know that's that daily 382, but just look at the level, right? Okay. Well, I've come all the way back up to this level here. Boom. Okay. All the way back to this level. I'm coming back to this trend line, right? Depending on how aggressive I want to be, there's my inner trend line. Bang. There's the break. Okay. There's the break. So I come back up into this daily because I didn't bring that down. So let me bring this down. Oh. If I'm going from the top down, I see, look, I'm coming to the zone. I may get a reaction. That could lead me right to a lower time frame play. Okay. Just like that. Boom. That. If I see that, that's strong, right? I'm gonna respect that, right? Look to put that stop above the high. Take a shot at that, right? Even some people, even above that candle, that bearish candle, that's a huge candle. It's pound CAD, right? And then I'm gonna get short, and I'm gonna work on my risk to reward. Take my risk percentage divided by my stop. It's really as simple as that. Calculator, risk calculators, no calculators, whatever you use, take your risk 1%, 2% divided by your stop loss. That's going to tell you the lot size to trade at every single time. Every single time. Yeah, you get a pip or two, give or take because of the value, the pip value. But at the end of the day, it's simple math. Take your risk divided by your stop loss. It'll give you a decent lot size to trade at. So if you're risking 1%, it's going to tell you trade at this for your lot size. When you divide it by your risk, by your stop loss, that's what you should be trading at. So if you lose the trade, you lose 1%. Simple arithmetic there. All right? There you go. Now, this is moving inner to outer trend line. Right? If we take this down to the 1, right? Depending on what chart you want to trade on. Okay. It becomes the same thing. Just a fractal, okay, of the higher time frame. And it just gets tighter and tighter as you go. Right? Same scenario. Right? Look, 15-minute. Don't be scared of these charts. Right? You all have invested in the inner circle. You all keep showing up for yourself week in and week out. Get on here and own this thing in 2023. Own it. It's yours for the taking. Right? It's yours. These charts belong to you. If you want something, go get it. Right? Be addicted to the process. right? You can get even more aggressive with that, the lower you move, right, for your entry. Okay. Hey, that's it. That's where price is moving. And you found that setup, right? That's probably going to the D extension, right? Because you learn how to do top-down analysis. Because you put the time in. Right? So whether you want to enter aggressively off of trend line breaks or wait for pullbacks to fib levels and get short, however you want to play it, that's going to come down to your trade plan, which I hope everybody spends time on, right? Over the holiday break. Can everybody do that? Drop me a 2 in the chat. Right? Can you do it? We can do it. Right? You can do it. Get this part down, because then the mental game begins. Right? Because once you do this, now you have to believe in yourself and actually pull the trigger and take the trade. So the least you could do is shorten your learning curve and compress time frames by giving the effort to get to this point consistently, so that you can then start working on mastering that other monster, right? That monster that's in between your two ears. Okay? So don't miss out on this. Don't neglect this part of the game. We gotta get this part down cold, right? Or we can do it in our sleep, so we can start to tackle that other monster. Right?
But you know, Ben, the beautiful thing about it is the practice helps with the other part.
Absolutely.
Helps with the mental piece, right? You put in the time, the effort, the energy, that helps you to develop the confidence to pull the trigger, right? It helps you develop the confidence to know what you do know, right? But that confidence doesn't come without work. It doesn't come without work. Consistent, deliberate effort, right? Over time, it'll come. But if you know you're not putting in the time, you're not going to trust yourself. You're not going to have the confidence to pull the trigger and be okay with whatever the outcome is. The effort is imperative. The practice is imperative for the other part to even have an opportunity, like Benny's saying.
Absolutely.
They go hand in hand.
Can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. But the work in is worth it. It's worth it. And say, hey, the only way I lose is if I quit. The only way I lose is if I quit. So if we come, and I appreciate you saying that, right? Because it's so important. They go hand in hand. It's a great point. Excellent point, right? So we go to the pound CAD and we see, right, that it's been a buy and now it's selling. Doesn't that make sense? Right? Doesn't that make sense? An up retracement zone, then you start to throw on top of that what we know, right, fundamentally, what's been going on with the CAD and the oil prices and things like that. And you say, I'm confident in this move, right? I totally understand. We're in an up retracement zone. Price is now retracing, it's selling off, right? And we started all of that, right? From a monthly, weekly, daily perspective. Right? So that's how we can get involved and get engaged in those moves. Okay? Right? So then you work on your trade plan and you say, well, how do I want to do this, right? Do I want to take it to fib extension levels? Do I just want to play aggressive off the trend line breaks and place my stop, right? Above a level, like so, okay? Above a level, like that candlestick there, right? And there's always little caveats to it. Like that's a huge bullish candlestick. I know I'm looking at a pound CAD trade. So that's got to be huge, right? When I see something like that on a pound pair, 176 pips, like that's ginormous. Like, how do I want to play my stop? However you play your stop, take your risk and divide it by your stop loss. Whatever the risk is you want to play on that trade, divided by your stop loss, that's going to give you the lot size. Can't say that enough. So important. So important. Okay? So you can't go with your gut. Oh, this is great. Huge bearish candlestick, broke the inner trend line, 10%. Don't do that to yourself. Right? Have your trade plan. Okay. So that's where we are. So you decide, hey, do I want to go to a lower time frame or whatnot, catch a wave and play the pullback? Do I want to enter aggressively and just set myself up for 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 1.5 to 1, whatever you're gonna do, right? That comes down to you and your trade plan. But get to this point, right? Get to this point. Gotta get there. All right. So what else do we have? Let's do what's another one? Let's look on here in a pound. Let's look at the GJ. We'll do a GJ. All right. So I don't even have that workspace because I'm redoing everything. So look, GBP, JPY, just like that. Okay. GBP / JPY. All right. Look at it, right? It's a monthly. Nothing scary about this chart. Right? Look, monthly, daily. 4 hour. And you might stop it if you're a swing trader, you stop at the 4. That's all you need, right? 1 hour, 15 minutes, right? Throw a 5 in there, right? 5-minute chart if you want to. Okay, so we got it covered across the board. Covered across the board. Look. All right, I don't know what just happened, but let me try to reset. Uh-oh.
Is it frozen again?
Frozen, man. I guess it's telling me I need to wrap it up. Hold on. Let me let me fire it back up. All right. See if we can get back in here. There we go. See if it'll let me play the game. All right, so here we go. Monthly chart. GJ. All right. Something's going on. Yeah, these flags popping up. All right, so here we go. Same thing, right? Boom. Monthly time frame. Here's the high. Frame it out. Okay. Okay. And we know, right? We've got pattern reversals, we've got crowns, head and shoulders, all of that good stuff. It all falls. Look, do this first, right? Mark out your levels. Right? All that stuff comes into play later. Okay. Right. When you get a clear picture, it becomes easier to identify that type of stuff. So here's our monthly. All right, we're gonna just use smart support and resistance. It's a brand new chart, so I gotta thin these out. Just like that. Put my support in. Boom. Like to keep it thin. So, oops. Just like that. Take it down to a 1. So this is the monthly. Here's the support level. Put that in black. Okay. Just like that. Now, I'm gonna take this one here just for good practice, right? Demonstration. That's a ways away. Boom. Okay. I'll even put this one in. Okay. Now, as we drop down to the weekly, you're gonna see some other levels come in. Why? Because this here, right? We can see right now from the monthly, we're down. Okay. but the month hasn't closed out yet. So from a monthly perspective, this is not a swing high yet from a monthly. So I'm not going to mark that because we're going to catch that on the lower time frames, okay, where we've got more candlesticks, right? So look, it is 12:20, right? Don't have the month closed out. So this is where we are from a monthly perspective. We drop it down to the weekly. Okay. Now, right, we can see those levels come in. See, stay disciplined. All right, stay disciplined. Okay.
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when marking up the support and resistance, you say that we should mark the most significant support and resistance. However, when you set up the smart support and resistance, it gives you a lot of support or resistance, right? So what do you consider as the most significant?
Your most relevant swing highs. Sometimes when you get it like choppy and it gets them real tight, I usually just take like the highest one because it's really a zone. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like this here is a zone, really, right? So you're talking about like all of these levels here, like for example.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a ways away, so I wouldn't even worry about it right now. This level right here, right? This level right here from a weekly perspective. Now, as we get down to the daily, in a 4 hour, you're going to see some other levels come into play, right? So you can see this one here. See, the chart moves from left to right, right? So this is what's relevant now. We see this one back here, right? Is where price may revisit that, but this is the most relevant level from the weekly chart, right? All of this back here, right? This is your near term. When we mean relevant, this is what we mean, okay? So like we see these levels here, right, as highs, but if the charts move from left to right, and then if I move in an uptrend, what level am I going to run into? This high, right? You see it? So, and then here, right? This is what's relevant as we start to climb, right? So you remember the staircase, right? So if we come through, right, our staircase like this, right? If price moves up, price is going to chase that level right there. That most recent level high. See it? Okay. See that level there?
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. Like this. Like that, right? We see all of this, right? But this is the way price action, that footprint that is leaving, this is the most recent, right? Near term support and resistance levels, okay? So, and then if I get a bunch of them that's real tight because the price has been ranging and consolidating, typically I just take like the highest one and just know that it's a zone, right? And that's what we have to always remember, that support and resistance is a zone. It's never just a line on the chart, right? So you can see this area here coming across. That's why some people like Ryan, right? Ryan, oftentimes he'll just draw the zone like that. And so you may have times where you've got 3 or 4 resistance levels because the market's been choppy, but they all fall within the same zone, right? So you could do it like that too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Pivots because we're good at realizing, right, multiple areas where past support becomes future resistance and vice versa. So here we are. That's that on the weekly. This is where we are. And we can see right now, just if we just looked at one candle, this is a weekly candle, everybody can agree we're down on the week. We're down on the week. Okay. We're moving down. All right. So that's that. We'll move that down to the daily. Okay. And now we start to get these other levels. See? So we know now that this is a nice zone here because look, we're going to get a high coming in. See? High coming in there. Boom. Just like that. We're going to link that down by itself. We know, look. See the near term, how we talk about the staircase? Okay. Right, look. That was just a huge move. Right? Boom. It's all swing lows and swing highs. Right? Bang. Right? Look. See? See? This is areas that we just broke, right? So we know by looking at it that, hey, at the impulsive move like this, do we come back to retest this zone, right? So if I come back on this, at one point, before price made this huge impulsive move bearish, look, that was a swing low, right? Price was choppy. Look, that was a swing low. Like that. Right? So you can see how impulsive price has been to the downside. See that there? Look. But we didn't get the close, see? See, I pushed it and broke it, but it came back and closed above it. So that re-enters the game there. See, look across here. See? Right? And then we come into our low. So from this daily perspective, it's like, all right, well, does price have the potential to move back and retest that area? Okay. And then continue to move down. Right? So like this. Right? Do we hold here and move back into this zone and then continue right back down? Okay. From that yen pressure that's going on. Right? That's the question, right? Do we continue? Do we break and we close and just retest this level? Right? Do we get a break? Right? But we can see, right? That's what I say. If we could just get to this point consistently, right? We can see that we're moving bearish, right? This has been moving bearish, right? If we take a fib off the high, just as a daily, if we take the fib off the high, this impulse level, we can see that, look, we just came right into an extension, right? There's waves everywhere. Okay? So if we move down to the 4, we're just doing the same thing, right? Tracking down through the levels. Okay? This is where we are. We had a range that broke out, right? So do we come back? Let me go back here and move these down. Okay. And to retest that level. So if you say, you know what, I'm bearish, then I would love to see price pull back into the zone. Okay. Form a swing high, past support, become a future resistance. Okay. So you say, if we get buyers to come in at this level, if I'm bearish, I want to wait to see if price stalls, gives me a swing high, and then I can look to get short, right? Maybe if I get, oops, a trend line break, right? At that point, if you want to add that extra confirmation to it. So, okay. And then you have to be willing to wait on that. If you don't get it and it continues to drive down and it breaks through a level, right? This is what we always call scoring that point, right? That's why we always use that basketball analogy, right? Price likes to score, point, and pull back. So we didn't get the strong push down, right, through this level. But if it doesn't pull back to that zone and it just decides to collapse, right, then we say that scored a point. So if you score a point in basketball, you score a point, do you run back down the court, right, to play defense? Scores a point, pulls back. Okay. Cool. See if that area can be defended by sellers. And then we move back down. Okay. So you can play from zone to zone. That's why we have you do top-down analysis. Throwing the fibs on top of that, right? That extra caveat just lets us know where exhaustion points can be, ideal points where, right, we may be able to get a good discount. But you can see, look, A, B, C, right? Triple topped in that zone at 61A. It came right back down to this D extension. So if you're a swing and you want to hold, you get your pullback and you're like, you know what? As long as it doesn't take out the A, it has no choice but to go my way. And it did all of this dancing around and ranging, but it eventually came to that D extension. Okay. And now we got a little reaction to the upside. So it's just extra confirmation. Okay. Okay. No magic, just raw price action trading. That's it. That's it. That's what it's really about. Right? And that's what we have to master. Right? You go down to the one. See, now it becomes the same thing. And this is when you start, right? When you start dressing it up, okay? What do I have, right? Smaller ways. And we play those zones, right? We come back to this top level. And if I can catch it, let me see. Catch the right high. And we say, whoa, well, this is how we come to learn how to play those counters, right? Extra confirmation, that's an 80-20 zone. And so if we get back, right, to that level, to that 382, that's 453 pips. Doesn't look much, but it's the GJ, it's the beast, right? So look at that, right? That can make a 453 pip move right back to that 382 against that resistance, right? So when we counter trade, this is our sweet spot. This is the potential play. Okay, so that's when. So if you get to this point first, that's when you find and build more confidence in those type of plays, right? So if we identify that on the one, right? Like there was an EJ today that we didn't get to post because it was so busy moving, but right, if we extend this here, right, and we talk about identifying those zones, right? So this is kind of like tonight, pulling it all together from the beginning to end. Okay, so make sure you watch the video over. Okay, and you realize the importance and why we do things the way we do it. Right. So look, we talk about scoring a point and pulling back. Well, look here. Right. If that price is going to retrace and you understand how the fibs work in those 80-20 zones, well, if it's going to get back to the zone for the short, it's going to have to buy back to that zone. Right. And already off this trend line break, right? Now think about what we cover on a nightly basis, right? And we go over and over and over again. Okay. Right. And you're like the same stuff, but that's money. Okay. Right. I got my stop below the low. Look, here's the bullish candle. You got to break back up above that level. Right. We get long, right? We're already up on that trade at this highest point, 126 pips. David, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just saying I might have to watch more than one time, but I'm not gonna stop till I get it.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what it's all about, right? Doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen overnight, but eventually we get it, right? We get it.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Appreciate the feedback.
Yes.
Right. So you see that little bitty move off that reaction? Look at that. Right. So we know that, hey man, that's a potential to go back to that 382. Look at the entry. right? If that's what you like to play off that counter, right? So we could be effective with the trend or counter trend. It just, hey, what's your game plan? What do you like to trade, right? Because if I'm looking to get short, then I wanted to come back up into this zone, right? If I'm counter trend, right? And I know the power at that 80-20, then look, I can play the trend line break. I can play the trend line break. I'm just looking for a reaction and a reversal, right? So there was a, like here, I'll show you guys this before we wrap up. This and I hated that I couldn't get this one up and posted, but look at this EJ, right? So think about now, we say, look, we look at all the currency pairs across the board. Why? Because when you get a reaction like you did on the yen today, because of something fundamentally happened in the market, look at the rebound. Look at the rebound, right? So you looked at the GJ, now this is the EJ. Look at the that's the same price action. Right? That's the same price. That's the same price action. And a correction. There's your swing low. There's your candlestick, your bullish candlestick breaking trend line, right? That's 99 pips, right? So if we get to that TP1, right, that's 300 pips if it makes that recovery. Okay. So if you're intraday trading, right? Same type of price action. Right? We're moving up. It's taking you to the same place over and over and over and over again. That's it. So over the break, hey, work on really getting that top-down analysis down. Right? Become very, very proficient at that. And I know you all can do it. I know you all can do it. I know a lot of you have done it. And we're proud of each and every one of you because you show up for yourself each and every night. You're working hard. Don't quit. The only way you fail is if you quit. Okay. So I wanted to make sure, hey, we go over some of these general things because they're very, very important, right? So here is this is a US 30 chart. Same approach. It's the same approach. You catch the same moves. That's an 80-20. Right? So that's a prime example of what we're talking about. Right? That's an 80-20 back up into your zone. We're short. Okay. It's falling short. Doesn't matter. Price action is price action. All right. Any questions before we wrap things up? Good session, everybody. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. Nope.
Just a quick one, Benny. With the issue regarding the demand and supply zones, and you stating that it's a point where price basically visits before, for example, past support becoming future resistance. Can I say that is the same as a pivot point?
Yes, different, but different. I'll get you the data on that. Kind of a different, the way those pivot points are figured out, a little bit different in regards to how the algorithm works to point out what to kind of identify those hard pivot points, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? Price where the area where price is visiting, it keeps visiting the same zone, right? Multiple times, past support become a future resistance. So in essence, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. And there's different pivot point indicators and everything out there too. right? So there's math behind it. There's an algorithm, right? That identifies those key pivot point locations. So slightly different, but pretty much the same thing, right? I pretty much look for past support becoming future resistance and vice versa.
I know she's
All
gonna be in
right.
the shower all day. Oh, I know he's gonna be in the shower all day.
Hey, any other questions before we wrap things up?
Any other questions? Benny, you mentioned break. I came in late and I apologize. So did you guys mention that the time for break, when it starts and when we resume?
Yeah, so our last session is going to be on Wednesday, right? Wednesday, so that's tomorrow, and then we'll pretty much be done, and then we'll be back on Tuesday. On Tuesday, getting back in the game, and then we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday again probably, and then we'll be back on the break, right? And then we'll release it to everybody when the next weekly ritual is going to be. So that's where we are right now, but we'll make sure we get an email communication out so everybody knows exactly when we're going on break and when we're coming back off of break. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And I just
you're
wanted
welcome.
to say thank you for what you guys pour into us. And please don't get heavy burden and don't feel like we're getting it, because I know I should be asking a lot more questions had I been at the level that I want to be by now. But I'm going to get this. I'm going to make not only both you two proud, but myself. So don't get discouraged. You know, we're going to get this. We promise we're going to get it. I know it feels like parents, like you got to kind of whoop it into us, and you shouldn't have to do that when this is something for us. But I appreciate you so much, what you pour in, and when you guys give your personal testimonies, please know how far that goes. Even when I'm not here, I'm present in heart. So just, yeah, thank you. That's all I can
You're
really say,
welcome.
I
No,
guess.
we love you guys, and we love what we do, and we have a passion for it. We love trading, but we also love coaching and helping other people. Like this is our wheelhouse, so
It shows. It shows. It does.
I appreciate it. We
Even when
appreciate
you
the
guys,
feedback.
even when you're telling us, and even when you letting us know what we should be doing, it still come out with love. Even though, like the Bible said, you can God love, he chastens those who he love. And that's what I feel like when you you guys should be getting it, you should be here or get this, at least get this. And so that felt good. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're
You too,
welcome.
Ryan.
You're welcome. And we're in there for the long run because we know that it takes time. We know that it takes time, so we're gonna be here regardless, so we appreciate all of you being here. And we know a lot of times, right, folks are quiet back there taking notes. We know, and that's important, because of some of the feedback we get, the personal inboxes and things like that. So we know that everybody's appreciative, and we just want you all to keep showing up for yourself and get this thing, because it is life-changing. It can be, generational changing when you start to pass this on to other people in your family and things like that. So that's what we really care about the most. So we appreciate you. We appreciate
Thank you
the
so
feedback.
much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you again. Have a good night. See you in the morning.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, with that being said, any other questions? One last call. Any other questions before we log off for this evening session?
No.
All right, you all have been awesome. We appreciate the amazing participation this evening, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.